Week 3 of the non-conference, a different mode this week, one match a day for 3 days, and I know you tried to set that up on purpose to sort of simulate a tournament situation. So what do you hope to get out of this sort of setup, and what is it you're actually preparing for, not just this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the way we only have our home tournament where we've got 2 matches on one day. Everything else, the other 6 matches are all individual matches. So we want to start practicing that game day routine, that game day preparation, preparing for one opponent, not worrying about the overload volume of a tournament where you're playing, we played 4 this past weekend in 2 days. That's a lot. So we got plenty of playing. Now it's the individual match prep.
Now, as you guys get more film on other teams and other teams get more film on you, you start to see a little more detailed preparation. How have the girls taken to that, particularly the young ones? Have they been able to kind of ingest all the video you're throwing at them and work individually with some people in the office?
Yeah, that's definitely, the team stuff for scouting an opponent, the young players are learning, and that's part of the process. And as we get through later and later in the season, it'll get more in depth, and we also play with what people can handle. And then we watch individual film more and more to improve throughout the week, for sure.
Talk with Michelle Hovey, which that interview is going to follow you, and she talked about communication on the court being real important. What sorts of things have you guys worked on this week to prepare for this week? And I know you're constantly refining things, but what are some details about the things the team is really striving to improve on this week?
Well, our defensive system's in place, and we want to make sure any areas from this past weekend that we didn't think we were performing well enough in, we wanted to, tighten up. And then offensively, throughout the entire season, we're going to be adding another layer and another layer and another layer. So we want to keep doing that. And we had a good week of it. And this will be the last big week of preparation until we hit conference play. It was pretty important, but I like what we're doing, and we're continually refining and adding things.
And speaking of Peanut, that's who we affectionately referred to her. She had a pretty monster weekend last weekend. Kind of as you look, and we'll talk more about individual players as the season goes on, but her contributions on the floor, I know she has some pretty high goals for herself, and the team obviously helps her achieve those goals, and her goals actually help the team win, so those are good things. But can you kind of talk about her raising her game from her freshman to sophomore year and her contributions to you guys?
Yeah, we brought her in to be a libero, and last year she was de-essing and learning the game and getting up to speed, and if anything, she didn't miss a beat, and she stepped right into that role as the libero and being able to pass 6 rotations and play defense for 6 rotations. She's doing a tremendous job. She does have high goals for herself. I'd like to take credit for setting them, but she set them, and she sets them really high, and she's going to be incredible. And the good thing is we got her this year, and then we got her 2 more years after that. She's going to be an amazing player, and I think by next year, definitely be competing for libero of the year, if not this year. She's capable of it, but there's also a little bit of a learning curve there. But she's fantastic, and she's just a good person on and off the court.
Not hard to find, folks. She's wearing the other color jersey, so if you're looking for Peanut, that's who it is. Safe travels going up to Norfolk, so not a huge trip, not too much bus time, and then back here and get set for a road game Tuesday, and then the home tournament. We're finally going to get to see you play. We can't wait for that, but 3-4 more, I guess, until then. Good luck this week, and safe travels. We'll check in with you on Monday.
Thanks. Go Niners.
That's Michelle Hovey. A lot of you may know her as Peanut. That's what she's called on the court. 38 digs, Michelle, last weekend as a school record, something that I bet you didn't know happened at the time, but back in reflection, a lot of things had to happen for you to collect that many digs. Can you kind of talk about that match on Friday?
Yeah, that match, we had great communication, and our blocking was really working with our defense. I can only get so many digs if our blocking isn't there or if the rest of the defense isn't backing me up. So just everyone working together makes that happen, and credit to the blockers for help setting that up. So.
Now, Coach Redding tells me that you had some goals that you had set for yourself to start the season, but you're telling me that those may change a little bit. Could you elaborate?
Yeah, I had set a goal for the amount of digs I wanted per set in matches, and I'm actually above that right now, so I want to readjust it so I can be pushing myself more and get myself in top conference in digs.
What does it mean, or when you're successful, what else is happening? I know you sort of alluded to it in that first question, but what's working well for the team when you're able to get digs numbers like that, and how does your being able to dig so many balls help the team as they turn it around into offense?
Well, yeah, like I said, blocking is the big part. I mean, it's the first line of defense against an attack, and if that's not working properly, then the defense isn't working properly. So in order for me to dig or anyone to dig, we need blocking to talk and communicate and read what's going on. So they're really setting up for everyone else in the back row.
It's been a little bit of an up and down season so far, about half as many wins as losses. So, about 500 is where you guys are sitting now. When things are going right, what's working well, and could you kind of tell us about how practice has gone this week, the things you guys are refining as you get set for a weekend series?
Yeah, in practice we've been working a lot on block, dig communication, as well as setter-hitter communication. Just all of the aspects of communicating, really, because if we're communicating, we do a lot better, less frantic, less hectic, and everything's calm, and we just do our jobs. So when we're communicating, we all do our jobs. And
I know you're getting set to play a little bit earlier in the weekend than you're used to, but safe travels, and we hope you guys do well up in Norfolk, and we'll check in with the team next week. Thanks for the visit.
go Niners.